Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. Whether you're a returning subscriber or you're just new and just kind of found this video, my name's Taylor, and I've been off YouTube for about a year, but kind of making my way back to it now. This channel is mostly just about my life, traveling, yoga, fitness, and gay culture. I'm a gay man, and I just kind of like to make videos about topics and issues concerning and revolving around gay culture. And today I just kind of wanted to talk about that, mostly because my viewpoints do differ a little bit than some, because I am a Southern gay YouTuber. There's not many of us, but there are a couple, and I like to give my kind of insight and my opinions based off of my views. So growing up gay in the South is definitely different than if you were to grow up in a more liberal, progressive part of the country. Lots of places in the North or California, I think that's kind of like the dream state for a lot of Southern gays. We're like, we're just going to cut out and we're going to go to California and everything's going to be okay. It's different in the fact that it is more conservative. It's definitely more religious. We always joke about it being the Bible Belt of the United States, because it's literally every 5 seconds driving around in the South, you'll see a church. So a lot of these small towns, I'm from a small town called Amory, Mississippi, and a lot of these small towns are based around those churches. It's all about who you know, who your family knows, you know, your mom, your dad, like your friends in the church, those church members, it's your community members. And so whether you go to the Methodist church, the Baptist church, you know, whatever kind of religion you have, basically that's like your community. So when you start going to school, these are the people you know, these are people you talk to, these are people you see at Sunday school. So these are the kind of friends that you make, and they kind of build you into this culture. And so even if you don't go to the same church, you can connect with a lot of people based off of your religious values, I guess you could say, your Christianity. Little disclaimer, go ahead and say that I'm currently non-religious, so I'm not a practicing Christian, I'm not a practicing member of any particular religion, and I'm not necessarily atheist. I just am kind of stepping back and observing the world in its ways. I do study some Buddhist texts within my yoga training, mostly for the philosophical standpoint, but at the same time, I'm not a practicing Buddhist, so just kind of my standpoints on religion, I'm not really religious. Anyways, when I was growing up, I was hella religious. Went to church, attended Sunday school, all that jazz. That's where I kind of had some of my friends from. Like I said, this is kind of when I started to notice my sexuality, when I started to think like, hey, like, I like dudes. And so when it comes to being in one of these small religious towns where your community and culture is based around the institution of religion, it's dangerous and scary to think like, hey, I like something that these people don't necessarily agree with. Because then you start to wonder, are they going to like excommunicate me from the church? Are they just going to like turn their backs on me? Are people going to be mean to me? Am I going to get made fun of? Am I going to be not welcome in the church? How's this going to affect my family? How's this going to affect, all these aspects of your life kind of come off this one place. And so small town Mississippi, that was definitely where my brain was when I was trying to decide whether, when, how, if, all of the questions that come with being gay, when to come out and if you want to come out. So for me, it was just kind of like, it scared me back into the closet. It made me try to push it down, push it down, push it down. I can get a girlfriend, I can be fine, as long as I don't disrupt this kind of flow that goes on. As long as people don't think that I'm not one of them. If I can make them think that I'm one of them, I can make it through high school, I can get to college, and everything will be fine and no one will think any differently. I want to say like a big part of that comes from this small town mentality. I think this is just about anywhere in the United States, where it's like, you grow up and you're expected to stay here. Mom and dad are here, your grandparents are here, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, everybody stays in this town. And they especially congregate around those churches. So in these churches, it's not only this community kind of mindset, but it's run by these particular families. They're the families that have been there forever, that have a wide influence within the church. And so when you start kind of butting heads with those beliefs within that church, it not only kind of creates kind of insecurities for you with like, can I go to this church? It's also within the entire town, because those families network and they're spread out and they're involved in the town. There's businesses, they're involved with, politics, the schools, everything spread out around this tiny little town comes back to the church, because this is where you know the people and this is where the people know you from. So when I started to think about coming out, it was just kind of like this spider web of like what ifs. It's like, well, I'd like to hang out with this person, and this person's mom's not going to let me come over to their house, and I can't go get ice cream at this place because this person goes to church with me and they know that, and I can't work here anymore because my boss does this. And it's all of these kind of like connecting things that just continually caused anxiety in me. And so that was kind of my experience in middle school, was just like freaking out based off of like everything was centered around religion, you know? And so continuing on into the more conservative aspect, minus the religion, just people's non-progressive and adaptive mindsets, I want to say, within the South. As I got into high school and I started to come out, I started to tell my friends, I started, you know, be more of myself, be more homosexual, I guess, if you can be more homosexual. I was less reserved in how I acted. I didn't really care what other people thought. I didn't care if they thought that I wasn't the most masculine guy in the school. I mean, I was in marching band, you know, like, not really sure how you can come back from that anyways. But I wasn't really concerned with it. And so as I did kind of notice that backlash. I did hear those whispers. But the good thing for me was that I did graduate high school in 2015. So I was already kind of in that progressive stage. And we are way better off even now, just 3 years later, than we were even back then. When I was in high school, I didn't know of any gay guys in the school. I knew of one that got outed, but none that had actually come out. And so I came out my junior year of high school, and after that, guys started to come out at my high school more regularly. It's kind of more of a known thing. It was more accepted because they saw me come out, and like a lot of my friends, no problems with it. I think I had one friend that actually was just kind of homophobic. So when I did come out, it was more of those silent glances, I guess, more than the outward kind of saying. Nobody really came up and discriminated against me in my face or tried to insult me to my face, just because I kind of integrated myself into the community. I started working at a local coffee shop. A lot of people loved me. I was their favorite barista. I was in the newspaper for a lot of academic things, like being on a rocket team or for tennis. I had built this community in my hometown. I was super involved before I came out, and that same community had the same hospitality, the same love, and the same sense of community within itself after I came out. I wasn't shunned or, you know, turned away. So that's just my experience growing up in the South. If you are from the South and you find it more difficult to be gay here, I definitely understand. I definitely haven't had the roughest path being gay here in the South. I will say that. I know people who have had much harder times with their parents, with their communities, with their schools, and it does exist. But as far as like my experiences, religion is a big part. Conservatives are a huge part. Kind of some facts, some truths, some myths, a little bit of both. Not really sure if this video is helpful or not. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments down below. Want to know anything else and want me to do a more extended video on this, let me know in the comments below, of course. Yeah, so that's just kind of where I'm at right now. Stay tuned for more videos in the future, but as for now, I'll see you guys later.